The shocking find inside King Solomon's 3,000-year-old tomb that left archaeologists stunned. King Solomon, a legendary figure in Israel's history, is renowned not only for his prominence in the Bible, but also for his extraordinary leadership and the establishment of a powerful kingdom. A symbol of wisdom and intellect, he is celebrated for settling difficult disputes and most famously for building the legendary temple, believed to be the sacred meeting point between the divine and humanity. Solomon's legacy has deeply influenced history, impacting many generations, especially through biblical stories where he is remembered as a just, wise, and powerful king. Recently, Israeli archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery when they found the long-lost tomb of King Solomon, more than 3,000 years after his death. This discovery has raised many intriguing questions about the secrets the legendary king may have taken with him to the grave, as well as the artifacts that could reveal more about his power and the mysteries surrounding him. Previously, many had doubted the existence of Solomon's tomb, considering it a myth that could never be proven. However, a team of archaeologists led by Dr. Eilat Mazar from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem has made an extraordinary discovery. They have pinpointed the location of King Solomon's tomb in the city of David, an ancient area famously significant in Israel's history. Notably, this is not the first time Dr. Mazar has made significant discoveries. In 1986, she uncovered a large gatehouse about 500 feet north of the city of David in the Ophel area. Although there wasn't enough evidence to confirm it as a structure of King Solomon, by 2009, when she resumed excavations in the area, new findings clarified that the structure might date back to the 10th century BCE during Solomon's reign. One of the notable discoveries was a massive wall segment approximately 2,100 feet long, known as the Cave of the Kings in Arabic. This wall included a gatehouse, a corner tower, and a royal structure so large that archaeologists speculated it could be part of an even grander building, like a temple or palace. Radiocarbon dating showed that this site dates back to the time of King Solomon's rule. Dr. Mazar remarked that this was the first time they had uncovered a structure from that period, consistent with the biblical descriptions of Solomon's buildings in Jerusalem. In addition, archaeologists found many fascinating artifacts, such as large jars for storing food and water, including one inscribed in Hebrew, suggesting it belonged to a high-ranking official. Small statues and inscribed handles related to King Solomon further added to the historical value of this discovery. Although it's not yet possible to definitively confirm whether Solomon built this structure, Dr. Mazar believes that few kings in the 10th century could have constructed such a large building, and according to the Bible, it could only have been King David or King Solomon. The city of David, where these discoveries were made, is considered the oldest part of Jerusalem and holds profound historical significance. This city not only housed King David's palace, but also many important relics from the Bronze and Iron Ages, evidencing the ancient development of Jerusalem. Excavations here have helped scientists and archaeologists reconstruct a vivid historical picture of the ancient kingdom of Israel. However, amidst these findings, the big question remains whether the tomb of King Solomon and other ancient Israelite kings can be found in this area. While the exact location of the tomb has not yet been determined, recent discoveries have provided a clearer understanding of the history and culture of Jerusalem during the golden age of the Kingdom of Israel. Of course, the story of ancient archaeology does not end here. Over the years, archaeologists have made numerous exciting discoveries not only about King Solomon's tomb, but also about other royal tombs. What are these tombs, and what secrets lie within them? Let's explore further in the next section. The most luxurious tomb of a pharaoh in ancient Egypt. The Valley of the Kings, located in Luxor, southern Egypt, is a famous tourist destination along the Nile River. This area houses a collection of ancient tombs of pharaohs, including the tombs of Ramesses VI and Tutankhamun. However, the most spectacular ancient structure in the Valley of the Kings is the tomb of Seti-Porosaurus, designated KV-17. Pharaoh Setiwenwas, or Menmater Seti-Femi, was one of the most renowned kings of Egypt's New Kingdom, a historical period that lasted from the mid-16th century BCE to the 11th century BCE. Historical records suggest that Setiwen's reigned for 12 to 15 years, around 1294 to 1279 BCE, and laid the groundwork for his son, Pharaoh Ramesses II, to become one of the greatest pharaohs of the New Kingdom. Archaeologists consider Seti-Deprem's tomb to be the longest in the entire royal cemetery, measuring about 449 feet. The resting place of this pharaoh is also considered to be the most elaborately decorated and luxurious in the history of Egyptian tombs. The tomb was discovered on October 16, 1817, by Italian archaeologist and explorer Giovanni Battista Belzoni. At that time, the tomb still contained burial goods, although the treasures and jewels had been looted. Inside, the tomb still has finely crafted, colorful painted walls depicting scenes of everyday life, along with intricate reliefs, bringing us back to the golden era of ancient Egyptian history. The tomb of Seti is the first known to have a burial chamber with a vaulted ceiling. The complex contains 17 rooms and additional chambers. One section of the tomb, known as Corridor K, is still being excavated and contains many mysteries. According to experts, Seti Watlin's tomb was severely damaged during 19th century explorations. In 1828 to 1829, French archaeologist Jean-François Champollion removed some wall sections. The tomb's decorative ceilings, walls, and columns were also damaged during the research. Today, fragments of the tomb are displayed in museums in Berlin, Germany, Paris, France, and Florence, Italy. The sarcophagus of Pharaoh Seti Darin was also taken to London in the 1820s and is currently on display in the basement of the Sir John Soane Museum in London. The 1,800-year-old Imperial Tomb Palace. An astonishing archaeological discovery in Hunan Province, China, has shocked the scientific community. A ceramic object resembling a basin helped archaeologists identify an ancient tomb complex containing more than 100 tombs, considered an invaluable archaeological treasure. According to Smithsonian Magazine, the basin has a diameter of about 24 inches and is 10 inches deep, with special inscriptions engraved on it. Thanks to these inscriptions, scientists have determined that the tomb complex belongs to Emperor Lu Ji, also known as Emperor Huan of the Han Dynasty, who ruled during the 2nd century CE in ancient China. Dr. Wang Xianxiu from the Luoyang Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology, who led the excavation project, stated that this discovery connected numerous ancient documents and other evidence found at the site, confirming that the tomb complex belonged to an emperor and is a treasure of unimaginable archaeological significance. Notably, the ancient tomb is not merely a burial site, but a lavish complex built like a palace specifically for the deceased. Since its discovery in 2017, the tomb has revealed more than 100 tombs within a complex that includes houses, roads, wells, and a drainage system. These findings suggest that this site was not only a burial place, but a grand structure intended for the emperor and his attendants. The houses within the complex were likely designated for concubines, guards, and tomb caretakers who would be buried alongside the emperor to continue serving him in the afterlife. Emperor Huan, a short-lived ruler, passed away at the age of only 35. This imperial tomb palace is believed to have been built by his successor to honor him, serving as a testament to the respect and veneration the court had for the late emperor in ancient China. The tomb, full of treasures of a French prince at the end of 2024, archaeologists made a significant excavation in the town of Lavaux, located in the Champagne region of France, where they uncovered the tomb of a Celtic prince from the Iron Age, filled with treasures. This tomb, situated in a suburban trade area, contains many valuable artifacts, mostly from Greece and Etruria. Remarkably, the Celtic prince was buried with his chariot in a mound approximately 131 feet wide. The excavation, led by a team from the National Institute of Preventive Archaeological Research, INRAP, began in October of the previous year. Scientists have determined that the tomb dates back to around the 5th century BCE, during the later part of the Iron Age, a period characterized by the use of iron tools. According to research reports, the center of the tomb complex is a 150-square-foot burial chamber dedicated to a member of the ancient royal family, specifically a native Celtic prince. One of the most notable discoveries at the tomb was a large bronze cauldron, once used for holding wine, originating from Etruscan craftsmen from what is now Italy. This cauldron is intricately decorated with 4 round handles, engraved with the head of the Greek river god Achelous, featuring horns and bull ears, along with lioness heads at the corners. Additionally, the archaeological team discovered a Greek ceramic jar depicting the wine god Dionysus and a perforated silver spoon, possibly used to filter wine. This find clearly demonstrates the trade connections between the Celts and Mediterranean cultures. The tomb of the founding emperor of the Northern Zhou dynasty, China. Chinese archaeologists recently made a remarkable discovery near an airport highway in the city of Hanyang, Shanxi Province. During excavation, they uncovered a 482-foot-long trench leading to a tomb aligned north to south. The tomb contained burial objects, though they had been disturbed, including ceramic vessels, small statues depicting warriors, cavalry units, a camel, and many unidentified creatures. Notably, the tomb's bottom was 32.8 feet deep, creating a mysterious and intriguing space for further exploration. One of the most significant finds was an inscription with the name Wu Wenji, the birth name of Emperor Xianwen, a prominent emperor in Chinese history. According to a press release from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, KS, the discovery of Emperor Xianwen's tomb is of great historical significance, as this is the second tomb of a northern Zhou emperor to be found, following the tomb of Emperor Wu. Emperor Xianwen ascended the throne at just 15 years old and chose Chang'an as the capital. However, his reign lasted less than a year before he was deposed and later assassinated. Notably, when he ascended the throne, Emperor Xianwen did not use the title of emperor as previous rulers did, but instead referred to himself as Heavenly King, a decision that reflected his distinct approach to governance and political philosophy. This discovery not only helps clarify the life of an important historical figure, but also opens new opportunities to study the Northern Zhou period, contributing to a fuller understanding of ancient Chinese history. The mystery of Napoleon's imperial tomb. As the most powerful emperor of France in the early 19th century, Napoleon's tomb is not as extravagant or mysterious as the tomb of China's Emperor Qin Shi Huang, yet it still exudes a sense of grandeur and dignity. Napoleon's tomb is located within the Invalids complex, which includes a museum, a memorial, and several other structures, all tied to France's wartime history. Originally built between 1670 and 1676 under King Louis XIV, the site was intended as a hospital and residence for wounded soldiers. Today, several areas of the complex, such as the hospital and veterans care facilities, are still dedicated to French veterans. Over time, as the number of veterans decreased, the area gradually shifted focus and became a historical museum. The Invalids complex is now one of the most famous landmarks in Paris, and is considered an architectural masterpiece. It even served as the inspiration for other palaces around the world, such as the Capitol Building and San Francisco City Hall in the United States. One of the most striking features of Napoleon's tomb is the symmetry created by two perpendicular wings, which divide the interior into 15 small gardens. The east and west wings house dining halls that can accommodate up to 1,500 people. To the south of the palace is the St. Louis Church, which serves as both a military and royal chapel. With its unique classical structure, the church features a dome gilded with over 22 pounds of gold and a spire reaching over 98 feet high. Walking across the Esplanade des Invalides, a 1,640-foot-long lawn that stretches to the main entrance, visitors begin their journey into Napoleon's tomb. Visitors can start by viewing the tomb of Emperor Napoleon I, followed by tours of the French Army Museum and the Plans Reliefs Museum. Under Napoleon IV's NC rule, the Invalids complex became the Royal Military Burial Site. Napoleon's coffin passed through the Arc de Triomphe, along the Champs-Élysées, and through Place de la Concorde before reaching Invalids. Many visitors are surprised by Napoleon's tomb, as it is made of granite and shaped like a stylized horse saddle, crafted from red quartzite placed at the center of a round crypt. Surrounding the tomb are 12 statues of women wearing wreaths, symbolizing his 12 greatest victories. Additionally, 8 of Napoleon's legendary victories, such as Rivoli, Pyramids, Marengo, and Austerlitz, are engraved on the marble floor. Besides Napoleon, many other famous military figures from World War I and World War II are also laid to rest here. The ancient tomb of King Herod. After more than 30 years of diligent searching, archaeologist Ehud Netzer from the Hebrew University made the groundbreaking discovery of King Herod's tomb, a figure well known in Jewish history and the New Testament. Herod, the king who ruled Judea during the birth of Jesus Christ, is infamous for his brutal character and horrific actions, including ordering the execution of St. John the Baptist, the herald of Christ's birth. This discovery not only sheds light on a part of history, but also raises many questions about the life and legacy of this controversial king. Herod's tomb was located at the Herodium Fortress, not far from Jerusalem, on a hill shaped like a truncated cone, 2,484 feet above sea level. Herod built this fortress after his victory over the Parthian Empire around 40 BC. It served not only as a military structure, but also as his final resting place. During excavations, archaeologists found a limestone sarcophagus that had been broken into several pieces, which would have been about 8.2 feet long when intact. The fragments of this sarcophagus still displayed intricate rose patterns, suggesting the lavish nature of Herod's burial. In addition, an ancient staircase was discovered, believed to have been constructed for Herod's funeral rituals, as described by Jewish historian Josephus Flavius in his writings. While no human remains were found at the excavation site, Professor Netzer speculated that the remains might have been displaced during the Jewish revolt against the Roman Empire in the mid-1st century. Despite the tomb being destroyed, the research team remains hopeful of finding other valuable items in the area, such as jewelry or other archaeological relics. King Herod, who ruled Judea from 37 to 4 BC, is famous not only for his monumental building achievements, but also for his brutal efforts to secure his power. According to the New Testament, Herod ordered the massacre of innocent children to protect his throne, an action that has made him one of the most controversial kings in history. The 3,000-year-old tomb of a Shang Dynasty general in China. November 2000, a team of archaeologists from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences began surveying a site near Anyang in Hunan Province, China. This area is related to Inshu, the last capital of the Shang Dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BCE. They used a special tool called the Luoyang shovel, which was invented by tomb robbers and later became a common tool in archaeology. After digging through the hard soil during the winter, they discovered a valuable tomb labeled M54. Initially, the team planned to delay the excavation until spring when the weather would be warmer. However, by mid-December, news of the discovery spread, and tomb robbers began to show up. Fearing that the tomb would be looted, the archaeologists decided to speed up the process. After a week of work, they had cleared the earth covering the tomb, and the results shocked many. The tomb contained the nearly intact remains of a noble from the late Shang Dynasty, preserved almost perfectly. Inside was a black painted wooden chamber with a deep red coffin and numerous burial items, including 15 human bodies and 15 sacrificial dogs, along with many other items for the afterlife. Over the course of 40 days of excavation, the team discovered 579 artifacts, including bronze, jade, ceramics, stone, bone, and ivory objects. Tomb M54 is the second largest tomb uncovered at Inshu, second only to the tomb of Fu Hao, the wife of King Wu Ding of the Shang Dynasty. Notable items included a 15.7-pound bronze wine vessel shaped like a wild water buffalo and a 10-inch jade dagger, which showcased the exquisite jade working skills of the time. One of the most intriguing discoveries was a bronze hand. Although its function has not been clearly explained, some researchers speculate that it may have been a prosthetic limb placed alongside the coffin of a person who had lost an arm. However, it remains unanswered whether the hand was used in everyday life or merely as a funerary object. Through analysis of the artifacts and remains, archaeologists determined that the tomb belonged to General Zhang, a famous military leader of the Shang Dynasty. The bronze artifacts in the tomb, especially the collection of weapons, attest to his military achievements. Modern analytical techniques reveal that General Zhang was not a native of Inshu, but hailed from more than 186 miles away. The wounds on his bones, along with the presence of Sichuan pepper in his remains, suggest that he may have died in battle and was later brought back to the capital for a formal burial. While many questions about the tomb remain unanswered, the discoveries provide archaeologists with valuable insights into the life of one of China's most powerful ancient kingdoms, as well as its advanced civilization and burial customs during the Shang Dynasty. We cannot deny that ancient royal tombs are invaluable archaeological discoveries that unveil mysteries about great civilizations of the past. Each tomb is not only the resting place of royal figures, but also a treasure trove containing unique artifacts that clearly reflect the lifestyles, cultures, and beliefs of that era. What about you? What do you think of the discoveries mentioned above, especially regarding the ancient kings? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe so you won't miss any other exciting discoveries. For now, goodbye and see you again soon.